Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Backbrace channel, your go-to place where we explore all things programming. My name is Amir, and in this tutorial I'm going to walk you through how to create a CLI application using Python programming language, and it's going to be a geographical distance checker. So you're going to type the name of your city and the name of that country, and the name of the second city and the name of that country, and then the program is going to calculate the distance between both cities, and it's going not only to show you in kilometers but also in terms of time, in hours, right? So it's going to display that if you're going to travel by airplane, by bus, or if you're going to walk from one city to other. So let me demonstrate to you how the application looks like. So that's a welcome message. Welcome to the distance calculator. Enter the name of the first city. Let's say, for instance, Detroit. Enter the name of the first country. Let's say USA. Then enter the name of the second city. Let's say, for instance, Toronto in Canada. And boom. Results: distance between Detroit, USA and Toronto, Canada, by, if you will go by walking, by bus, by airplane, you can see that the distance is the same, of course, 332 kilometers, but the time changes. So if you're going to walk, I don't know why would you want to do that. It will take you 66 hours by walking. By bus, it takes around 6 hours, and by airplane, 42 minutes. Alright, so that's basically it, and enough me yapping, let's go ahead and start coding. So the first thing that you want to do is to go to your terminal, create a folder. I'm going to call it distance. Then I want to activate the virtual environment using pip-env shell. If you don't have pip-env, you can install it via pip install pip-env, and it's a very good practice always to keep all of your packages and dependencies isolated inside your project other than being mixed with your global file system. Next, what I want to do is to clear the terminal, and I'm going to install different packages. The first one is inquirer. And inquirer simply is a module that provides a collection of common interactive command line user interfaces such as lists, checkbox, input prompts. It's usually used in Node, but I'm using it here in Python. That's no problem, it works perfectly. The second module that I want to install is geopy. pip-env install geopy. And geopy is a Python module that provides geocoding services and other geographical utilities. It allows you basically to easily geocode and reverse geocode locations. It calculates distances and directions between points, as we saw in the demo, and also can perform other geographic calculations. The last module that I want to install is simple_chalk. And simple_chalk is a module that provides a simple way to add color text to the terminal output. And if you have seen my latest tutorials, you will find that I'm always using simple_chalk for Python or simply chalk for Node.js. All right, that's basically it. Let's go ahead now and start coding in Visual Studio Code. So you can run code dot, and it's going to open Visual Studio Code for you in that directory, right? So let me go ahead and create main.py file, and we will start. Let me just maximize this for you guys like that, because I know a lot of you guys watch these tutorials on your mobile phone. So I always try to make sure that everything is clear for you, not necessarily for those who watch on their laptops, but also if you're watching on your, I don't know, your smartphone or tablet or whatever. So yeah, the first thing that I want to do here is to import inquirer. That's the first package or module. The second module, I want to, from geopy, to import two main classes, distance and geocoders. Geocoders, right? The last thing that I want to import is different colors from simple_chalk. To import, let's import the green, the blue, the red, and the yellow. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the blue. All right, so these are the three main packages that we want to install. And forget about these lines. It's just, you know, no name green in module simple chalk, no name blue. Yeah, forget all that. That's just silly. All right, so first thing that we want to do is to know how to structure our code. Usually we start by declaring variables, whether you're working with Python, JavaScript, you're working in Node, in Rust, in Java, it's always the same. We start by declaring our variables that we're going to use later in our code. So let me just say declaring variables, and that's basically defining the emojis. So the first variable, I'm going to call it walking underscore emoji, and I'm going to paste the emojis here. Then the bus emoji, so bus, and then here the plane emoji. So let me just copy those here, and that's the third one, right? And let's have a welcoming message. So print welcome to the distance calculator, and just adding a new line after that. Let's actually use the blue color for this. So let me try that out, because honestly these squiggly lines stressing me out. So let's do Python. Let's make sure first that the virtual environment is activated. Good. Then Python main.py. Welcome to the distance calculator. All right, perfect. Next, what I want to do is to prompt the user for the name of the first city and country, right? Because we'll have first city and first country, second city and second country. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me just add a comment first. Prompt the user for the name of the first city and country. All right, so first city, that's another variable. First city is actually going to be equal to the prompt. So I will need that package, that module inquirer, the first one. So I'm going to use that here now. So inquirer dot prompt, and that's a method, right? That's a method that helps us to ask questions. So we'll open parentheses. Then I will have a list of different questions. And again, I'm going to use the inquirer module dot text. And text, be careful with a capitalized T. And text method should have different arguments. So the first argument is going to be the name of that city. Then the second argument is the message. And the message here, we're going to say or ask the question, enter the name of the first city. Right? So that's the first question. The second question is going to be the same, except that's going to be for the country. And instead of name, we'll say here country. All right, so that's about it for prompting the user to enter the name of first city and first country. We want to do the same thing for the second city and the second country. So prompting the user for the name of the second, basically the same code. So here is, we're going to change all at once. Second, it's exactly the same code. All right, great. Now, what we want to do is to get the latitude and the longitude of the first city and country, and we're going to duplicate the same thing for the second city and the second country. So we want the latitude and longitude of the first city and country. So I'll declare another variable. I'll call it first location. And first location here is going to pass the first city and the first country. So I'm going to use the F format to pass inside here the first city with the sub name. And I will need also the country. So first city sub country. All right, so that's the first location. And also what I want is the coordination. So I'm going to create a variable called first chords like that. And this is going to use the geocoders module. So you can read here that each geolocation service you might use, such as Google Maps, Bing Maps, or Nominatum, and that's the one that we're going to use now, has its own class in geopy.geocoders abstracting the services API. So I'm going to use geocoders.nominatum, and if you will hover over that, that's the Nominatum geocoder for OpenStreetMap data. So what I want to pass is only one argument, which is the user underscore agent, and that's going to be the distance underscore calculator, right? Dot geocode, and the geocode is going to take the first location, but that's not enough because we want the coordination point. So first of all, we have taken the geocoders module, right? And we have accessed the Nominatum, which is a class that should take as parameter the user agent. And the user agent in this case is the distance calculator. That's by the way, the GitLens extension. You can check out here some real world examples of the Nominatum. And by the way, I'm going to make a video about the Visual Studio Code extensions that I have and that I don't have. And if you will just scroll down here, you'll find we have a function called getAddress. That's a variable called geolocator, again, using the Nominatum. The user agent here is Conrad, right? And the main purpose of this function is to get the address based on the latitude and the longitude. So that's the first coordination variable. I will need to do the exact same thing, by the way, for the second location. So I will duplicate that, get the latitude and the longitude of the second city and country, right? And now time to do the calculation. So let's add a comment here. I will say calculate the distance between two locations. So we will need the distance by walk, by bus, and by air. So walk underscore distance is equal to distance dot distance, and I'm going to pass first coordinations and second coordinations dot kilometers. Distance, I missed a T, okay. And we'll do the same thing here. Instead of walk, we'll do bus. Here, air distance or plane distance. So these are the variables that I'm going to use to do the actual calculation. So calculate the time to walk the distance. So what I will do is I will take the walk distance and I will divide it by 5, assuming that 5 kilometers per hour walking speed. And then I will assign all that to a variable called walk underscore time, right? And I will need to do the same thing for the bus. So calculate for the bus, and that's going to be also calculate for the airplane. So not the walk here, but we will have the bus. So let's just change that. Bus time equal to bus distance, not divided by 5, but let's say 50 kilometers. Okay, assuming that 50 kilometers per hour is the normal bus speed, or you can do it 60. I think 60 is pretty okay. Right, and then the airplane, then I'm going to change the walk and we'll do here air, and I'm going to do 800. Okay, again, assuming 800 kilometers per hour is the normal plane speed. And finally, we want to print the results. So we'll do that in green color. The new line will do results. Then what we want to do is to print, and again I'm going to use the f string, distance between, because I'm going to plug in the first location and the second location. So distance between, then we want the first location, good, and the second location, right, and then we're going to display the different alternatives that we have, which are walk, bus, and airplane, basically. So let's go ahead and here we can leave it like that without any colors. Okay, so let's go for the yellow color. And again, using the F string, double quotes, then we will do, we want the walking emoji first. So we want the walking emoji, and let's just give a space like that. And we'll do walking. Then I want the walk distance. So the walk distance here, we will round it to decimal or to decimal for floating points, 2f, kilometers, don't forget. Then the time, and we'll say that the walk time, we want the walk time variable, and I will round that as well to f, and don't forget hours, right? So that's the first output. We need two more, right? We need for the bus and the airplane. So we'll do here, instead of walking emoji, it's going to be the bus emoji, right? And instead of walking, we'll do bus, and here also do airplane, right? And bus emoji. Walk distance, instead of walk distance, we have the bus distance, and instead of walk time, we have bus time. All right, and finally for the airplane, the walking emoji, we will change that by plane emoji. Airplane walk distance, we'll change that with air distance, and finally we'll change the walk time by air time. All right, that's basically it, guys. Again, the code is very simple, very intuitive, very logical. And that's why I'm concentrating this period on creating those applications where we just get our hands dirty with the code, mess around a little bit, you know, and you can take some application like that and apply to Django if you're okay with Django. But that's command line interface application, and I think that all programmers should master creating applications using command line interface or command line tools. All right, so let's go ahead now and check out if the application is working okay or not. Let me just check out something here very quickly. Let's just decrease that distance here. And similarly for the second city and country. All right, ppnv shell. Okay, good. Now let's do Python main.py. All right, perfect. So enter the name of the first city, and that's again the inquirer module. And notice at the beginning of the line, there is this interrogation mark, and we didn't do that in the code. That's the inquirer module. So let's do, for instance, Luxor in Egypt, and the name of the second city, let's do Cairo, also in Egypt. All right, so distance between Luxor, Egypt and Cairo, Egypt, that's not well formatted. Oh, I see why. So I should have just closed that here after the name. And the same thing for, that's the first location, and the same thing for the second location. All right, that's a silly mistake. I apologize for that, guys. All right. Let's run that again. Let's do Alexandria, USA, and Detroit, USA. All right, perfect. So distance between Alexandria, USA and Detroit, USA by walking, bus, and airplane, the distance in kilometers, and the time, which is based on our calculations, where we did 5 kilometers per hour for walking, 60 kilometers per hour by bus, and 800 kilometers per hour using the airplane. Let's do another one. Let's say Berlin, Germany, and the second city, let's do Liverpool in UK. So that's it guys, this is our application. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment below and share this application with your friends. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comment section below. Tell me also if you enjoy this kind of applications, the command line interface applications. All right, so keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next one. See you later guys.